Hello and welcome to the Milltown Way, the independent Shamrock Rovers podcast covering all things hoops. I'm Ryan Brennan. I'm joined here with Adam Casey. It's another busy episode as we look back on a dramatic night at Tallaght Stadium where Rovers beat Dundalk 3-2 in the League of Ireland Premier Division. All 5 goals kept coming inside the opening 39 minutes in a frantic first half before Rovers held on in the second half to secure another 3 points and move 10 points clear at the top of the table, although Bows and Pats still have games to play this weekend. We'll break down the Dundalk game, then take a step back and look at the bigger picture. What could actually constitute a successful season for Rovers from here on out? With the league, FAI Cup and Europe all still on the table, where should the priorities lie? And finally, we'll look ahead to Thursday's second leg against KF Ignatia in Albania, with Rovers taking a 3-1 advantage into the game. So let's get into it. First of all, we start off with proceedings tonight. Shamrock Rovers 3, Dundalk 2, quite an eventful, 39 minutes after that. Well, no, more eventful than just that, but
Yeah, no, the second half did have a bit to it, but not a lot.
no, nothing compared to the first.
No, the first half was a very scrappy game. Just in general, it was a scrappy game, including not just from the players, but the fans too.
Yeah, everyone was getting a bit of the action. Obviously a fan ran on the pitch to confront Dundalk players who were, well, probably, look, you have to say how it is as well. Was antagonising from
Yeah.
Dundalk as well. They celebrate in front of the South Stand. You have to bear that in mind too, as much as, look, no one should be running on the pitch, but so it's that, look, it was a bit of antagonism particularly from Daryl Horgan.
Yeah, it was.
And his teammates celebrating. But look, it was a busy game mostly, and one that, well, had enough talking points. And one other talking point was the referee as well, Robert
Yeah,
Harvey. Some questionable calls tonight, but
yeah, he wasn't, particularly in the first half, wasn't very quick to give any yellow cards, particularly to some Dundalk players.
when it might have been warranted.
Yeah, like one in particular where Rovers hit the ball and were on the break from their own half, and Sobowale had brought it up a good bit and had just gotten into the Dundalk half, and it's then brought down.
Mm.
Like when you're on the break, and it's not only on the break, not just like you've just won the ball and they do a quick foul. You've made considerable distance and you're getting at them. A foul in that situation is usually automatically a yellow card.
Yeah, there was 12 cards shown as well throughout the game between
Yeah,
players and non-playing members. Kieran Kilduff, of course, former Hoop. The Dundalk manager, he got a card. Stephen Bradley got a card. Ben Cronin got a card. Sean Kavanagh saw red as well.
yeah,
So look, eventful to say the least. Look, Rovers come away with 3 points and an important 3 points. That's the main
that's what
takeaway of
matters.
the.
Yeah, in a hard fought game as well.
Yeah, look, it didn't take long either. Penalty was won inside the first 2 minutes. Michael Noonan, the man to win it, takes it around the keeper, but taken down in the meantime as well.
Yeah,
And Dylan Watts makes no mistake in
no,
setting the keeper the wrong way, and inside 2-3 minutes, Rovers are 1 up.
yeah, he slotted in. It was a nice finish as well for the penalty, but yeah, Michael Noonan done very well to get around the keeper and Stonewall penalty really.
A
It's not
really
much you can say.
improved performance from Michael Noonan
Yeah,
as well. One of the best I think I've seen in quite a while, which was great to see. Always great to see.
the goal and then he won a penalty as well.
One who made a nuisance of himself probably throughout the night was Cian Dillon of Dundalk. He had a chance not too long after the goal either. He kind of makes a dart and run towards Ed McGinty, but he collects it calmly. McGinty, who only would then proceed a few minutes later, in the 15th minute, to make, what do you call it, a howler,
Yeah, well, there wasn't
a goal.
It was, but it also wasn't the first time or the last time that would happen in the first half.
Hmm.
There's a few mistakes from the back, but particularly from Corey O'Sullivan. And, hasn't been playing recently a lot.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's his first performance since the away leg to at Armenia, so he hasn't been playing for a while, so probably has a bit of rustiness. But yeah, there was a reason he got hooked off at half time.
It was, so obviously a 15th minute, Cornwall of Dundalk puts it level after McGinty lets it drop in the box. One where you kind of look at, and as we both kind of said about, needs to assert himself. McGinty does at times,
Yeah,
and he
sometimes
lacks that a little bit.
either sometimes he needs to assert himself, or sometimes he just shouldn't come. Sometimes he comes out when he doesn't need to.
Mm,
Like in that one, he probably could have left the first defenders to try to win,
yeah,
rather than bundling over a bunch of players and then being left in no man's land for when the ball is still in the area.
yeah. The other, like, it's just, yeah, it's one of them. If you're either, you leave it for your defenders and then see where it goes from there, or if you're coming out, make sure you have it.
Yeah,
One every in a rare occasion is fine. You know, it happens to keepers. It comes with the territory. To, as you said, about a crowded area, but it is becoming somewhat of a bit more of a frequent pattern. Um, yeah, and then obviously look at results in a goal as well.
yeah, yeah. And one thing you look at Rovers in recently, they haven't been keeping a lot of clean sheets, which could part of the blame be placed on McGinty. Don't know. It's some he has had some errors that have led to goals. But outside of the draw of the game last Friday, Rovers have only kept one clean sheet since the start of June,
Mm.
which was against Waterford in a 2-0 win down there, and then obviously the 0-0 draw at about every other game they conceded in.
Yeah, it's slight cause for concern, and obviously you're on top of that you're conceding some, like, it's not rare to concede more than one goal either. You know, are at Armenia, Floriana in the away legs there conceding two on both occasions. Um, Winning 3-2 tonight as well. Another cause for concern. Rovers were quite sloppy at the back throughout that spell where Dundalk do equalise as well. As you said about Corey O'Sullivan, I think it was not even. I think it was less than 5 minutes after the goal went in. He plays it backward, and it's intercepted. Like that kind of just sloppy, not kind of tuned in, and the South Stand didn't hide their feelings, hiding,
No,
making their feelings known, to the
it's
Rovers
quite
back
out of
line that they should
character
be.
as well for him. It's not something that happens very often.
Yeah, and then like it looked quite dangerous there, and luckily the attempt went wide. But yeah, it's one of them that Rovers were quite slacking behind. Um, a minute later, Rovers are 2-1 up though, so you kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
one of them. It was quite a weird game.
it was, and this guy was all on the counter, and the ball was played in, and Afolabi kind of let it run by him quite smartly, and it went out just to the side where it was Dylan Watts. Kept the ball just in, and kind of was off balance a little bit nearly when he got that header, that when he got that ball across.
Great ball
Lovely
though.
ball, just
Very
floated over all the defenders right to Michael Noon at the back post, and it was an easy header at that point.
very unexpected from that
From that
passage of
break,
play,
yeah,
because
because
not that it out
the way the
character for
ball was
Dylan Watts,
passed and
but
then Afolabi left it, it looked like that was maybe the wrong decision.
that went too far for
Yeah, it went
Watts
too far for Watts to even to get a shot off. He wasn't in a position to get a shot off.
or get across it.
No, it looked like he
Yeah,
was. Well, it was nearly like he was. He wasn't. He was nearly too near to get across him, too far to get a shot off.
yeah,
And I put him in an awkward position, but he kept the ball, and he was right at the byline as well. But he kept the ball in just well, kind of off balance, nearly stumbling over, and a little dink across and headed into the back of the net.
yeah. Great ball from Watson, a great header from Noonan, and as I mentioned earlier, I thought it was a very much improved um appearance from, or yeah, appearance from Michael Noonan. Was kind of a nuisance the whole game. About 4 minutes, less than 5 minutes after the goal goes in, Dundalk have a chance of their own again.
Yeah, off another mistake.
Daryl Horgan makes a dart and run in the middle of the pitch. Not really. Rover struggled to close him down. He gets a shot across and literally just wide.
Yeah,
Just showing the kind of end to end nature of the game, particularly in that first half. 2 minutes after that, Dundalk are awarded a penalty.
yeah.
I
You know,
just, how do you describe this game? I don't know.
that was a very disappointing passage of play, with the ball being lost by Rovers, and then
Lee Grace caught
kind
out.
of getting in front of his man just for them to kind of stumble and then end up taking him down.
Yeah, before that it was Lee Grace. Obviously, he didn't give away the penalty, but He was caught out, muscled off the ball,
Hmm.
and it leads down the ball into the box. And the foul, but yeah, Dundalk awarded the penalty, and look, make no mistake about it, it's what Daryl Horgan done. Puts it in the back of the net, makes it
Hmm.
2-2, and I don't know, just thinking, how can Rovers get away from this? How can they how can they shrug Dundalk off? And as
Yeah,
we mentioned in the last episode, Dundalk are a nuisance to Rovers this year. They have been. And when you're seeing that it goes 2-2 and they've equalised for the second time,
yeah.
all within 26 minutes of the game starting.
I know. It was a
Uh,
very mental first few minutes of the game. It was
I'm sure.
not what you expected.
I'm sure at this point, and obviously more drama was to ensue, but I'm sure at this point, Virgin Media are rubbing their hands, thinking they've chosen the right game to.
Definitely. They really did fit. Yeah, if you're a Virgin Media executive, you were licking your lips tonight with the game that you chose. If you're the person who made the decision, then you're definitely getting a raise, maybe.
But yeah, obviously Daryl Horgan puts it in the top corner, makes no mistake about it, and then that's when you see that the supporter runs on the pitch to confront Horgan and his teammates, and he's taken away by the stewards. Um, quite it was quite an intimidating atmosphere generated from Rovers, I think, then at that point, or a loud one in particular. Loud, yeah, just kind of increasing the volume a bit, taking it up a notch. Chants of Rovers, um, as the supporters brought away from the steward by the steward, and look, I'm sure he's probably regretting that now because that could result in a lengthy ban. I don't know the ins and outs of fan bans for
Yeah.
doing such a thing, but I know
Oh,
it can be quite serious, and yeah, look, you'll be hoping that it's not gonna they won't slap the rule book at him, but I'd say there's every chance that they do, but
yeah, I'd say there's every chance he gets a bit of a ban.
yeah,
Yeah.
but that I'd say you might be regretting that now. And then, well, 11 minutes later, Rovers are back in front, or 11 or 12 minutes.
Yeah.
12 minutes after that, Rovers are back in front for the third time
Yeah.
in 39 minutes.
The man, the new signing,
Jonathan Afolabi.
gets his first goal for the club.
It seemed like a misplaced pass toward in the keeper's direction, not directly to the keeper. But yeah, Afolabi does well to kind of intercept that. Gets a shot across, slight deflection, I think, on the way, but it goes in the bottom corner. And look, Afolabi won't be caring what it hit
No.
once it went within the back of the net. And look, that's the goal now. That's his first one, and you're hoping that can kickstart more
First
and more
start
to
as
come.
well.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
we discussed that as well on the last episode. Many of our lineup shouts.
They did actually. Many of the ones we were saying on the last have kind of
We said Corey
came to
and
fruition.
Lee. We said Afolabi and Noonan.
Yeah,
So maybe we should be in the dugout with Stephen and Glenn at the end of the
maybe.
day.
Who knows?
um,
If we stop uploading, you know why.
exactly. There'll be signs. But yeah, Rovers find themselves 3-2 up. Afolabi getting off now off the mark, and yeah, look, he'll take that confidence going into Albania next week as well. And might never know, because there's a bit more of a break between the Dundalk game and Ignatia. He'd probably be hoping he's back in the starting 11 as well, particularly with John McGovern seeming to be still on that injury list.
Yeah,
As you mentioned in before we started delving into the game, and anyways, the foul on Sobowale and that
yes.
counter attack where he is taken down. I think that's the first, well, not the first, but one of the most where
Obvious cases
yeah,
of
where the
poor
crowd
referee.
make their feelings known, the loudest or most known maybe,
Yeah,
because
it was very vocal.
ref keeps his cards in his pockets.
Yeah,
Thinking at this point, they just
it was
don't.
a blatant. We never really bashed refs that much. It was a blatant yellow card.
Yeah, and that
There's no
was
other way.
more than one occasion where there was
Yeah,
blatant cards. But yeah, you go into the interval 3-2, and thought Rovers overall in the first half, Rovers were shaky at the back. Too many mistakes. Good going forward, but too many costly errors, and it needed ironing out. And well, I suppose you could say that it did. That's exactly what happened
yeah,
because
it
no
did.
more goals were conceded from the interval.
Yeah,
A bit more of an uneventful second half, I would say. Which look primarily isn't a bad thing when you're in the
No,
lead. You
and when
can
you win the game.
afford, when you're leading 3-2, you can afford to have an uneventful second half.
Yeah, when you end up closing it out, it's not a good one if it's uneventful and then you can see it in the last minute.
Yeah, that was the thought. I had that thought process as well, because as much as Rovers, I think Rovers dominated for a large part of that second half. Looked like it was more likely to go 4-2 than it was 3-3.
Yeah,
However, yeah, you're at the end of the day, it's 3-2. It's only a goal in it. You can go either way.
they only need one chance, really, don't they? That's it.
Yeah,
So I can change it in an instant. But yeah, it did seem like in the second half, despite it being a bit of a more kind of toned down second half and a slower second half, Rovers did look in control and they just had a bit more stability at the back than they had in in the first half.
yeah. I think I thought straight out the blocks, Rovers conceded a bit of a chance. Ended up being a block, and it was out for a Dundalk corner. But
Hmm.
like aside from that, a few minutes after that, then you had Matt Healy finding Asamoah, who has a near attempt saved. Asamoah,
A few near attempts in the second half.
a couple of one-on-one chances,
Yeah,
particularly he had that probably should be scoring. One of them, I think, is how he get away with missing. It was
yeah. One of them where there was
coming in
one
from the
where
left
yeah,
wing.
and he had
Mm,
pressure on him, and it was a
yeah,
tight angle, and he still managed to get a corner out of it, which was
yeah,
very good. But there was more towards the end. It was kind of
yeah.
80 minutes or so in, and he got the ball and was on a break. And his speed, fair play to him, his speed is what got him and got him
Hmm.
to keep bringing and stay ahead of the defenders. But he was enough ahead of them that he had that a little extra time, and there wasn't necessarily a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah, one thing we noticed throughout that second half, particularly after their introduction, was it seemed like Aaron Green was at left wing back nearly, and
Yeah, that
Asamoah
was.
was the striker with Noonan.
Yeah, I know, because Greener was out on the wing for nearly the
Yeah, he didn't.
majority of his time on the pitch.
I know, as we were saying there, like I know maybe if like Noonan hits that ball down to
Yeah,
one, and then he makes that run, and find himself then with that run, thanks to that run, that he goes 1-on-1 with the keeper,
yeah,
should be putting that away.
yeah,
I don't think, as I said, whatever about the other chance, but I think that one he should be making that 4-2 and sealing the 3 points. But we said about Greener would finish that, but would Greener be able to? I think he still would. Like, he has that strength about him as well. He's a bigger character.
yeah,
I think he might have been able to have it in his locker to keep him off and make that same run and create that chance, and maybe
yeah,
he might have had the kind of finishing that end product to make a 4-2, but it was as a moment he didn't take it. McGinty on about 64 minutes did make a good save, an important one at that. It was close range effort, and one of them that kind of maybe slightly, particularly I think when his back's not to the south stand. There's a couple of times where McGinty will make a good save and it's not as noticed, whereas then he's making the howler
yeah.
with his
I
back to the
know.
south stand, and yeah, I think.
I know. Even my keepers, their mistakes are always picked up more than their achievements, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. On about 80 minutes, I think Rovers were a bit guilty of overplaying it. As
Yeah,
we were saying, Green in from the left, he finds Asamoah. O'Regan takes over, doesn't. But no one takes a chance, and then they give away possession. A bit of that we're overplaying on a couple of occasions, not just that one. And again, Southside making their feelings known, frustrations growing. Particularly because it's that kind of uneasiness when it's just a goal in it. Then you had a couple of minutes before stoppage time, Asamoah puts the ball across the face of goal. No one makes a stab at it. Asamoah done everything right there as well. He
yeah,
kind of keeps his defender off him. He shows his strength, puts a good ball, a dangerous ball at that as well. If anyone was there, or if anyone did stick it, if there was, I think it was O'Regan there. But if anyone just sticks their foot out, it should be
that's it. Yeah,
4-2, and they didn't. And
it
then
wasn't even that they had to stick it out that much either.
yeah,
Just needed a toe.
mm,
It wasn't like reaching. It was just a toe, and I think certain. That's another one where I think of Aaron Green is that he just has that
instinct.
striker's instinct. He can't teach it.
Exactly.
I reckon he would have got something out of it then.
Yeah, and then McGinty made another good save on the 90th minute.
Yeah,
It looked like it was going sticking into the bottom corner.
yeah,
Again, that's in that other opposite stand was
Yeah.
back to the north stand instead. So I think it goes just a little bit, not as much noticed. But hard work of the win. Dundalk aren't a pushover this season. They haven't been in
No.
any game. That's Rovers' first win over the Lily Whites.
Yeah.
But the main thing was that the job is done. Rovers are now 10 clear at the top of the table, of course.
Yeah.
But Bows and Pats still have to play their respective games on Sunday. Bows going to the RSC to face Watford. And
Not an
Pats,
easy game on a Sunday.
you know, Watford like a Dublin opposition at home on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Pats head to Telka Park to take on Sheld. So, yeah, like
Not necessarily winnable games. It
neither
could,
of them are for Pats or Bows, I
in
don't
theory,
think.
it could stay 10 points come Sunday from the
Yeah.
end of the match week.
I think, like, at least one of them will get something, but
Yeah.
I just, yeah, I'm like, the thing is, well, on the Bows front, anyways, they're coming back from Europe. You know,
Yeah.
the European hangovers, Rovers are well equipped to. So, and then Shell, but the only thing Shells will have that as well. And they were
will.
away during the week, obviously away to Ajax. So maybe that might work to Pat's and Stephen Kenny's advantage.
Yeah, they might, but also I think Shell are going to have a little, even though they lost, I think there's still going to be a bit of a confidence boost from that game.
Yeah, like Eddie Beach saved the penalty, and they obviously getting a goal of their own as well
Yeah, and
in the Amsterdam Arena, packed out
only losing
Amsterdam
by
Arena
2
as well.
goals in a packed out Amsterdam Arena.
Yeah, like I think it might have been a sellout. Thought I heard numbers of a sellout, you know, from the home fans
Yeah.
as well as the away. But yeah, so obviously, look, Rovers are just doing what they need to do. Speaking of Greener, he hinted at retirement during the week,
Yeah.
saying that if he isn't to be offered another contract, his contract expires at the end of the season. If he's not to be offered another one by Rovers, he will hang up his boot, or likely to hang up his boots. He said that he won't be looking for another club.
Yeah.
So it's
Good and bad news. It's good that he doesn't want to consider any other clubs, but it's also bad that seems like the end is near.
Be interesting to see how it unfolds, particularly on that Rory Gaffney making the headlines as well during the week.
Yeah,
So
another
the two of
man
them.
we haven't seen.
Bradley hinting that he will be back at some point this season. I still don't believe he will be. But that gives Rovers a lot of maybe work to do in the January window, particularly.
Yeah.
Or obviously, look, they might chase maybe a free agent, or if there's a contract expiring sooner than that. But just because if you're losing two strikers,
Yeah.
I know obviously we're kind of without one anyway. Like we're
Yeah,
nearly
we're
already playing without Rory Gaffney. He hasn't featured in 2026, but to have two officially off the books is a bit of a big ask. But yeah,
they will need a replacement, but especially if unfortunately we see Michael Noonan leaving perhaps next summer. They'll definitely need a replacement striker at that point.
Yeah, exactly. But look, we live there at the Dundalk talk, and we'll look at what could be a successful season. Look, everyone has their own opinions on this. We kind of had this mini debate when the podcast was in its early stages last year when Rovers chased pursuit of the double, and of course chasing the knockout stages of European football. The prospect of Rovers went to Athens in the week of the cup final and drew 1-1. So you thought maybe there was a bit of hope there to reach the knockout stages. Obviously, Rovers didn't.
No.
And we're done in the league phase. But now that Rovers have done the double for the first time last year since 1987, have Rovers now, like, what in your opinion constitutes a successful season? Obviously, Rovers are fighting on all fronts for the moment. It could end next Sunday when Rovers go to Richmond Park to take on Pats. But of course, look, you don't want it to end that early in the third round, but you still, obviously, Rovers are top of the table by, at the moment, 10 points. And of course, Rovers are in the third round of the Europa League qualifiers. They have 1 foot in the Europa League playoffs. Obviously, it might not end up in Europa League, but then, of course, it's guaranteed that it will at least be the Conference League. So, yeah.
A successful season is winning the league and having a good European run. I'd say the cup is a bonus. Because at the end of the day, it's one game. If you lose one game, that's it.
Yeah.
That's why the cup is so great as well.
What makes it unique?
Yeah, but no, winning the league and having a success, being competitive in Europe is, and I mean being competitive in the league phase of a tournament. Whether it's Conference League, ideally at this point, It's going to be Europa League, hopefully.
Mm.
That's what everyone wants.
The interesting point that I had picked up on that I came across during the week that I didn't initially encounter was coefficient points.
Hmm.
So obviously Ireland's ranking at the moment is
Yeah,
they're close to losing the Europa League spot. That obviously is given to now second place. If for because look at the moment staring down the barrel that's going to be after the third round that Rovers are the only team still in European football, as it looks like Shelbourne and Bows will be out after the third round due to their defeats. Both of them losing by 2 goals in their first leg against Michelin and Ajax respectively. But the it opens to a larger point that if Rovers were to qualify, the coefficient, the way you earn points, obviously the coefficients, you have to win games. It doesn't matter
yeah.
about nothing else matters.
No, it's winning gets points. Yeah,
Yeah, so like even if, for example, if Rovers are 4-0 down from the first leg and they win the second leg 1-0, even though they're out 4-1, they get points for winning the actual game itself on the night.
yeah,
So that comes into the equation when it comes to Europa League versus Conference League, because if Rovers go into Europa League, of course, there's on paper, regardless, it's going to be a tougher opponent. It is going to be tougher opponent. This is as in like, so what you have then is like it's on wins get you points.
yeah. But is a win in Europa League more points than a win in Conference League? It is going to be up to a higher caliber of opponents in the Europa League. Like as you mentioned the other day about the Celtic one. You remember talking about
Yeah,
Celtic fans as you were on your holidays, and it was the idea of them, and they would rather take part in a competition that they're competing to win.
yeah. Now,
At this
obviously,
stage,
as
Rovers
viewers,
aren't at that stage in terms of money, and
not competing for European
no,
trophies.
they're not. Unfortunately, well, not yet. With this rapid rise, they could be, but they're not yet at that stage. So I think just a good competitive run is good, and obviously there is this idea of furthering Irish football by getting them higher positions and having more European places available too is obviously good because it makes the league in general better on a European scale, but also really, as good as and helpful as it would be, an ideal world Rovers are going to win the league each year and they won't have to worry about that second place.
So you don't get more points, no
Okay.
more coefficient points for it being across Champions League, Europa League, Conference League. You get 2 points for a win, one for a draw, zero for a loss.
They should just do 3-1-0. But anyway.
Yeah, like a normal
Yeah.
table. Um, where the difference is that it provides a higher rewards through bonus points and floor guarantees. So with the Europa League, you're guaranteed a minimum 3 points.
Hmm.
Um, whereas at the Conference League, you're guaranteed a minimum of 2.5,
Yeah.
and then your max rank bonus is 6 in the
Okay.
Europa, 4 in the Conference.
Yeah.
And then knockout round bonus 1 point per round in Europa and 0.5 in the Conference League.
Okay.
So look, bro, I don't know. It's just an interesting one. Look, if you're in the Europa League, you're coming up against better opposition, so there's more eyes
Yeah.
on the club,
More eyes on the club. Yeah. The money's a
on the
little bit
league
better
itself. Yeah,
in terms of qualifying. It's not in the league's better. It's not like if
it's
you get the Champions League. The Champions League money's
yeah. The
substantially more.
the similar point and what one kind of you're getting at there with the Celtic one as well is if Celtic fans want to be in the Europa League rather than the Champions League because they have a chance of winning that, you could use that logic with Rovers in the sense that Rovers might prefer to be in the Conference League rather than the Europa League because they have a better chance of reaching the knockout stages. That's where I
Yeah.
would draw
But I
that
don't have
comparison.
that. I think in general, I think the Europa League will be better for Rovers,
Mm,
and I want Europa League at this point.
two. It means 2 extra games in the league phase as well.
There's that. The money from 2 extra games makes a difference too.
And it's likely like you could draw really like think of the biggest clubs
Yeah.
that are in the Europa League at the moment.
Well, look at even, for example, some of the English clubs who are in the Europa League in the coming season.
Yeah,
But they're large teams. It's not like I'm not going to disrespect the Conference League or anything. It's a
yeah. Like there's no, I suppose the Conference League. look, as we all know, anyways, no one you don't get an automatic qualification spot. Everyone
No.
has to go at least through the playoffs. Um, yeah, it doesn't regardless of who is going in or what league. But I suppose as the whole, or drawing it back maybe to a bit more specific, like would route like our if it I think like what's it I find it hard to even answer it myself in any ways of what is a successful season. You know, like
Winning the league's the main one.
winning the league, but like if it was just to win the league, if Rovers won the league but didn't qualify for Europe.
There's not winning the league and a competitive European run. That's the successful season. And with anything else is not a success.
What about so you're saying competitive European run?
Yeah.
What about if it's Europa League and go out with the league phase and lose zero out of it, win 0 out of 8?
Depends how they play. It depends on how it actually is. If they lose 0-8, but they're competitive and they're taking it to teams like they have in the past, they've
Mm,
lost games and been in them.
yeah.
But if they're losing 3-0 every week, then no, that's not a competitive run.
Mm,
And I think if the case is going to be that they don't have that are going to get hockeyed every week in Europe, the only excusable time that could be is in the Champions League. Really,
strong levels of opposition
there
there,
is in
isn't
the
it?
Europa League. There is, but I do think Rovers have improved and are continuing to improve each season. I don't see why they can't compete with some of the smaller teams who are in the Europa League.
Mm,
Like if you look at the Europa League in other seasons, there is smaller clubs who
Rovers
are
could.
could do something. Not necessarily, they're not going to win it. Let's say they might not win every week, but there is going to be stages where they are up against teams who just aren't on as high a level.
Well, yeah, because sure, obviously with the format of that league phase, if say look if Rovers were to qualify for the Europa League, you could be like I presume Rovers would be in probably pot three or pot four. But
Yeah,
regardless, the pots don't actually even matter with the format because you play
no,
two teams from each pot, one home, one away,
yeah,
regardless of where you are. So actually, it's only just there to kind of break it up a bit.
yeah,
But so like that, obviously, as much as look we're discussing that, but Rovers then will have two teams from pot four, say.
yeah.
But it's just obviously it all hinges on who's going to be there, and
Yeah, it depends. We don't even know every team is going to be in it yet,
yeah,
let alone the draw, which if they do qualify for European competition, the draw is usually the end of August, kind of
mm,
that last weekend of August, bank holiday weekend. Bank holiday in the UK.
yeah,
They tend to do it on that Friday.
yeah.
Uh, Allegedly, a certain band are planning on releasing tickets that Friday as well,
All right.
so it could be a busy weekend.
Well, just on that Europa League conversation, teams that have already qualified: Crystal Palace,
Yes,
Bournemouth.
are Bournemouth in it this year? I
Yeah,
do think
yeah,
Palace were.
yeah.
Oh.
Palace are because they won the Conference
Yeah,
League.
Bournemouth, Sunderland.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Italy, AC Milan, and Juventus.
yeah,
So Rovers up against one of them.
yeah. Okay.
You know, what you saying 2-1 Rovers. Graham Burke.
Depends if home or away.
Trip to the San Siro.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So well, it's not the San Siro anymore. It's not the original San Siro.
Well, it's still not
It's
not
the
getting knocked
woke
down
San
till.
Siro.
um, yeah. So and then Spain, Real Sociedad, Celta Vigo. Germany, Hoffenheim, Bayer Leverkusen.
Oh, Leverkusen,
France, Marseille, and Rennes.
yeah,
Netherlands, Alkmaar.
yeah. Good
Portugal,
times.
Torrens. I've never heard of them.
No,
Uh, but yeah, so look,
big teams in there.
then you have the teams that are going to be eliminated from the Champions League playoffs.
Yeah, that's that as well.
Yeah, but look, it's a successful season. You're saying is the league and a strong run. Now, I just think conference like I think if Rovers were to drop into the conference like you have to make it out of the
You
league
have to make
phase.
it. Yeah, that
Uh,
is a competitive run in the Conference League.
yeah, yeah, it is.
That's why I use a loose term like competitive. I'm not
Oh,
saying because if it's Europa League and competitive run is not finishing bottom and getting a lead and taking it to teams and not just being like the whipping boy of the group and
Yeah, that
who
everyone knows
looks,
it's an easy
yeah, who
3 point.
everyone looks forward to playing.
Yeah,
That despite not winning, teams know they're going to have a hard night,
yeah,
especially if it comes to Tallaght. But in the Conference League, there's no excuse. It's making it out. It's making it to that next stage, the knockouts.
yeah.
Necessary. Last season, obviously, they didn't. The season before, they made it to the first round of it. But yeah, I think if they're in the Conference League, it has to be a knockout round. Otherwise, it's not success.
Yeah, I think at the moment, the way it's going, obviously, look, we all hope Rovers are just competing on every front as long as they can. But I think when push comes to shove, like I think I hate even saying it, but should the cup be the least of the priorities?
Yeah.
It's tough. I don't like saying that. But
Yeah, well,
it's silver at the end of the
the
day.
other option is to say the league's the least of their priorities.
Well, then, see, the league's what gets you that Champions
Or the
League,
European competition's the least of their priority.
yeah,
One of them has to be.
yeah. I know, yeah, or the three, but yeah, probably won't be the cup because look, obviously, if you're not winning the league, you're not going to get in the Champions League. I know, obviously, say even top three finish, but if you're not, and look, Rovers are in a strong position to be reclaiming the crown in any ways. But yeah, it'll be an interest. We're getting very much into the business end of the season, so. But yeah, I suppose we'll move it back onto the European football as we're on that topic, and anyways, our favourite one.
Yeah, the preview of the next game. Have a look forward.
So obviously Rovers to go to Tirana, Albania on Thursday night. I think they're flying out Wednesday. They take on KF Ignatia in the Europa League third qualifying round, second leg. Rovers taking a 3-1 advantage to Albania. Big old game. Could be a night. Let's see as Rovers confirm their place in Europe. One that look, I think we're all probably looking forward to as well. We can have no doubts about that. But yeah, it's not going to be easy. This side know how to score goals. Rovers know at the moment how to concede them.
Yeah.
And Rovers' away form in Europe particularly is not impressive.
No, not well. They've lost by 2 goals in every single away European game this season.
Yeah, and if they were to do the same again on Thursday night, that would of course lead to at least extra time, obviously, and seeing what happens after that, which is the last thing Rovers want, particularly with a cutaway cup tie to Pats on the horizon from there. And look, I know we were saying just there on back on that point slightly about the cup might be the least of the priorities.
Yeah.
You don't want to go out to Pats.
Mm-hmm.
That's just one.
No, it's just because it's Pats. Yeah, you don't want to go.
You don't want to go to anyone.
Anyway. But it makes it worse. That's Pats.
Yeah.
Of all teams.
But yeah, look, Rovers. Look, they're going with quite a big injury list. Not that this is just spurred out of nowhere, but Rovers go to Albania with the injury list, and it looks like Keane Barrett was added to that tonight. Obviously, he went off on a stretcher. It didn't look too positive for him. No. We do wish him a speedy recovery, hoping that he's back with Rovers in the near future. But obviously, his likely injury now that will probably see him ruled out of that trip just adds to a long stacked list. You have already Victor Ozenvuna, John McGovern, Conor Malley, Danny Grant, Rory Gaffney, of course, Naj Razi recently too. Yeah. The positive,
it's a lot of injuries.
It is, yeah. And Dan Cleary's been missing for quite a large time as well.
Yeah.
Now the positive in there is that Roberto Lopez will be going in fresh. Obviously, he has a 3-game suspension. He missed tonight against Dundalk. He will miss the cup tie away to Pats next Sunday, and he'll proceed to miss Shelbourne at home in the league as well.
Yeah.
So it does mean he'll look as fresh as possible, really. He might already be in Albania, who knows?
Who knows?
Might be just going exploring.
Yeah, he's walking.
But yeah, that's the only positive of it all, really. Cautiously optimistic for Thursday.
Yeah.
League or qualification to Europe being the bare minimum, it seems.
Well, yeah, the fact that going in with a 2-goal cushion is a very promising thing, and coming off tonight and the other night, it seems like it could be a nice night in a European football confirmed officially.
You like to do it in Tallaght, don't you?
It would be nice in Tallaght, but at this point, I think with how the European away games have been going for Rovers, I think that having the home game be their first leg was
Oh yeah, it was
a
better.
good thing
Yeah,
this
yeah,
time.
no, it was. It just
Usually in other we talk about this the other night, but usually in
yeah
circumstances it's the other way around. But no, this one
needed to
it
be
was
with the
it had
form.
to be with just how they've been with away games. One for confidence, I think it was a big deal to be going into that away game with a 2-goal cushion will make a massive difference.
Yeah, no, it will. Yeah, and that's exactly why That's really why we're confident going into the second leg. Cautiously optimistic is the
Yeah,
term I would definitely use there, but yeah, that's the reason. Is that Rovers started off well in Tallaght, and 3-1. It should have been maybe 4-5.
yeah,
One they had more than chances than that. I really just hope they don't rue those missed chances.
yeah,
There was some chances that just they shouldn't have been. They shouldn't be missing them really. And in this European context, it's more important than ever, particularly coming into this game with the away form that Rovers have had in Europe.
yeah.
Losing like 2-0 cleanly both times. But look, you hope that Rovers get it done within the 90 and that they don't need another 30 minutes or penalties. I wouldn't be able for that.
No, ideally not. I don't want. I don't want penalties.
Yeah.
I don't ever want extra time, but penalties are even worse.
The other side of that coin, Ignatia, they've they've scored 9 goals in the last 2 home games. Scored 3 against Celje and 6 against Petroclub,
Yeah,
CS Petroclub of Moldova.
that's not the best sign.
So
Considering
9 goals.
all things considered, it's not the most. It's not the best stat to be going in thinking about.
No, and like on the night against Petroclub, 6 different scores, one of them being an own goal. On the night against Celje, the 3 goals, 3 different scores that night too. So, like say with the 9, say 8 different scores, you're not going to count an own goal.
No, you
But eight
know.
different scores with 8 goals that were
Yeah,
scored by them. Uh, yeah, not the most.
not the most promising sign,
Just
especially
slightly
over the
worrying
fact
is
that
all.
Rovers have lost by 2 goals in each of their games.
Yeah.
It's coupling them together. It's not painting the best picture.
No, like look, this team know how to score goals, but look, Rovers need to just go in. Look, they have the confidence. Look, they've beaten as much as we've said about defensive issues. Look, Rovers have gotten goals of their own. Look,
Yeah, they can score. They can score, and
like Rovers have
they've
six
shown that
goals,
tonight.
6 in the last 2.
Yeah, there you go.
And even if you look between and Rovers that were played the second leg against Floriana and then the cup game against Cork, that was 9 in there too.
Yeah,
So I think you're getting 2 teams who aren't particularly good at defending as of late.
and are particularly good at.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so it's gonna be just a goal fest maybe is what we're looking at here.
Yeah,
Look the conditions in Albania. You can imagine. It's that's the issue of the away games. You're adjusting to different conditions. It's due to be around in the 30s when Rovers kick off in Albania. It's been like that for nearly every away game so far.
maybe that plays an impact.
I think it definitely has to because look, you're coming from Dublin, where
Quite moderate.
it's quite moderate, and if it gets up to the 20s or so, it feels like it's boiling nearly some at times.
Yeah, it can do.
So when
Different type of heat here, though. When it's hot here, it's a different type of feeling.
sure as a hell. Yeah, so you're going into that. But yeah, look, it's up to Rovers. Look, Rovers are well versed. Aaron Green said in an interview earlier in the week, when he did say about his retirement, he also did say that look, Rovers are well versed in these European kind of change. Going from domestic to European to domestic, and so on. So look, they would have had their Bradley and Green said it in their interviews with Virgin earlier in the week about how the full focus would have been on Dundalk this week and not thinking too much about Ignacio. So look, you imagine as soon as the final whistle went tonight against Dundalk, that shifts back to Thursday. To go into Albania and such a big game as well. In terms of maybe is it too early to predict some lineups or Well, not so much, I suppose, because look, obviously Pico will be back in there. Sabawali will retain his spot. Don't Corey and Lee tonight weren't too
No,
impressive. I thought they were a little bit shaky together.
at least
Might see
Pico.
Stevens back in. He
Oh.
has that experience in the European stage too.
Hopefully a backline of Stevens, Pico, and the man himself, Sabawale.
Sabawali.
He's always there.
Yeah. Formidable force, really.
He's unbelievable.
Even that run that we were mentioned there about how there wasn't a card in result, but like even that, he just takes the ball and just goes on a run.
Whenever you see someone coming at him, like if you see like even towards the end, the ball kind of the Dundalk were kind of pressing and the ball's bouncing around, and then the second he comes over and gets involved, it's one.
Yeah.
There's no messing about.
It's
And he gets the ball and goes and plays the pass quicker. Either plays a nice early pass or he brings the ball forward himself.
Yeah.
Seems to always know what's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
It's very rare that you see him make a mistake.
Yeah. Exactly, and he's always a kind of at that threat. Just takes the ball and like the fact that he kind of just picking it up in the middle, like kind of
Yeah.
just outside the box and sees a bit of space and thinks he can go on and
Because he's
just
quick
thinks
as
it.
well, yeah.
Yeah, he's powerful.
Yeah.
So look, that's another thing that stands on the middle of the park. I suppose Healy is one that has been quite a mainstay in the starting 11 for Rovers. You can imagine that he'll be retaining his spot in the starting 11. He was withdrawn after 69 minutes tonight. You can imagine that's probably what the amount of minutes he's played as of late alone. But of course, then maybe one eye to Albania as well. I know there's 6 days between the games, so it's a bit of a longer break they have. But
Yeah, with the travel time and everything has to be
and
taken
then
into account.
you have to think as well that right after Ignatius Pats, like it's quick. They'll probably fly home probably directly after the game. I think it's
Yeah.
the charters anyways. I think straight after the game, but that means early Friday morning.
Yeah.
And then Friday, Saturday, and into game again. A big game at that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'd imagine Healy will be back in there. Jack Byrne probably, I'd imagine, in that middle there as well. Who occupies that third middle spot can be a bit of a change. I know Dylan Watts was there tonight. Yeah, it's a tough one. Does Dylan Watts?
I reckon it will be Dylan Watts again. He started 2 games in a row now.
Yeah.
Which sometimes you could expect it to be the other side, but especially now with Naj Razi going out injured as well.
Well, look,
He's starting to pick up a bit of form.
Yeah, obviously now he's out for at least a few weeks it seems. But if you look at that starting lineup against Ignacio in the first leg, would you make much or any changes to that? Like
No.
Will Fitzgerald and Adam Brennan as the wing backs have no hesitation.
Well, the midfield three of Jack Byrne, Mahine and Dylan Watts has only not occurred in one of the European. Has only not started in one of the European games. That trio. So
Yeah.
I reckon, we're gonna see it again.
Yeah. It's and
And the only reason it didn't happen most likely is because Mahidi had a red card. So that for the home leg against Florian, the 5-1 win, John O'Sullivan started.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, and as well as that, it offers a good dynamic, I think, because he's very kind of controlled, composed on the ball, as are the two other lads, Jack and Dylan. But obviously, he's not as much attack minded as the two lads, and they can get forward and they have a lot of creativity. They can see a pass that maybe no one else sees. And they offer the three together offer quite a good dynamic. Brennan and Fitzgerald as the wing backs, as I said, have no issue. I think in that being the same again. Obviously, Fitzgerald got a full rest tonight against Dundalk.
Yeah.
He played against Drogheda and played against Ignacio in the first leg, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him back in the starting 11. I suppose the main question maybe of it all would be the front two, Graham Burke and Aaron Green. I think Graham Burke definitely starts.
Yeah, definitely, especially after not playing a minute tonight.
Yeah, it's just Aaron Green. Would he start, or do you give Afolabi another start after scoring a goal tonight?
I would say Aaron Green. Not a wing back now, up top.
Greener has that killer instinct.
Yeah. And that combo's been common now in these European games, so I would just stick with what's worked. And that formula has been working in the last while. And it's
not broken, don't fix it.
Exactly. If you're winning a first leg 3-1, I don't see why you need to make that much changes unless you're forced to.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, like it's realistically from that first leg, there's not really, unless someone picks up a knock between now and then, maybe like in training or something, like I wouldn't actually see why you would change any of that. No one's suspended at the moment. No one is injured. That we know of, and anyways, and yeah, like I don't know. I don't see why you would change anything really from that.
No, I reckon it'll be a very similar squad,
if not identical.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone has any complaints about that.
And if it's going to be a change, I reckon it might be maybe William Fitzgerald might not play. Maybe that might be the only change.
Who would you see in there? Maybe potentially Jake.
Yeah, I reckon Jake Moran could get the start. He's the most likely option out of anyone to get that start. Yeah, that's really the only real option to do it. Yeah.
What do we think? Is Thursday the night that Shamrock Rovers confirmed their European status for 2026?
I reckon so, yeah. We're going in with the 2-goal cushion, I think. It's hard. It'll be hard to. It's not going to be an easy game, but they have the advantage. Just go in there, play exactly what they did last Tuesday or they did tonight, and I reckon European football will be confirmed by hopefully no extra time. So hopefully by about 10 o'clock on Thursday night.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's done. I think the Rovers will take their foot off the pedal anyway, but it does lead them to go into playoffs with that comfort now. If it doesn't go right, there's still the confidence to fall back on.
Exactly.
I know it won't be the mindset of Bradley and his players when it comes around, and obviously they'll be coming up against a good Lillestrøm side. But get this one done first and confirm European football for Rovers, and that means if they do that, it means Rovers have a schedule confirmed up until Christmas at least. Obviously, it'll go into the new year if it is to be the Europa League that Rovers qualify for. But it's exciting.
Yeah, it really is, and hopefully it just continues the way. And Rovers get Europa League, or at least, ideally Europa League, but European football at least. And
see, that's one thing I think we didn't really consider as well is Lillestrøm is in the way if Rovers get passing. Yeah. Look, obviously we're not even considering Lillestrøm at the moment. We have to do this on Thursday first, but just forget about the level of opposition we're going to come up against.
Yeah, I think it's best to just focus on Thursday first. Yeah, like
we're in the dressing room.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we might be soon with the way it's going.
With our lineup calls. Anyways, look, we'll leave it there for this episode of the Milltown Way. We'll be back after Ignacia, but as always, thank you for listening. And as always, do get in touch with the page if you do have any thoughts or comments. Don't hesitate to get in touch. And as I said, follow us on all social media platforms at the Milltown Way, and don't hesitate to share the podcast. But other than that, thanks for listening, and we'll chat to you after Robert take on Ignacia in Albania.
Thank you.
Champions,